Hey, what's good guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a Sunday in Toronto. I'm just doing some housekeeping stuff and getting ready for the week. Someone asked me in the comment section on one of my previous videos to talk about my process of getting into law school, and they asked me to talk about my stats and stuff, so I'm gonna do that for this video. But first, we're gonna head to the gym and get in a quick workout, so I'll see you guys in there. Okay guys, we made it back from the gym, and now for the topic of this video, which is how I got into law school and what my process was like. It's a bit of a interesting story because I actually never imagined that I wanted to be a lawyer or that I wanted to do law school to begin with. I actually thought I wanted to be a doctor, and in high school I did this program called the International Baccalaureate Program, otherwise known as the IB program. And in that program, I had a bunch of friends who were very talented, very smart, very hardworking, and they all wanted to go into medical school. So I thought, I want to be like these guys, so I'm going to follow them and try to apply to medical school down the road. So I actually applied to the Honors Biomedical Sciences program at the University of Ottawa because my hometown is Ottawa, and I did that program for 4 years. Up until third year, I was still gunning for medical school. I didn't want anything else, but then by the time the end of third year rolled around and I got into fourth year, I sort of realized that I was really not enjoying the stuff that I was doing. I was doing a internship at a local hospital nearby too, and I really wasn't having it. I was working in the ER, or the emergency department, and I was not enjoying I wasn't enjoying anything that I was doing there. So I realized, medicine is definitely not for me. Luckily, I had a friend who was in the biomed program who had applied to law school, and she told me, that there's such a thing called corporate law. I didn't really know that because I didn't have any lawyers in my family, but my family is actually in the jewelry business, so we've always had like a bit of an entrepreneurial / business mindset, business background, and that always kind of piqued my interest. I just didn't know how I would explore that because business programs sometimes can be a bit of a joke. So I decided that I'll maybe follow in my friend's footsteps and I'll apply to law school. And from there I actually wrote, I realized that during fourth year, so I had to take a gap year to study for the LSAT, and then during that time I also worked as well. I was only considering applying to law schools in Ontario. I didn't really apply to any schools outside of Ontario because I didn't really see myself uh, going outside of the province. So I applied to Osgoode, the University of Ottawa, University of Western Ontario, and also the University of Toronto too. Um, and I applied through this centralized application portal called OSAS. I think it stands for Ontario Law School Administrative, or Ontario Law School Application System, something like that. Anyways, I applied through that. I had to submit my LSAT score. I had to submit like my application materials, which can be different for each law school. And then I had to write a personal statement for each law school as well. So I submitted all my materials through OSAS, and then I waited. I applied, I think near the end of 20. I actually can't remember, but I applied near the fall, and then I heard back in January. Osgoode Law School was the first one that sent me my acceptance. It was an early acceptance, and it was in Toronto. Since I'd lived in Ottawa my whole life, I was like, you know what, I'm going to accept this offer, and I'll see what Toronto has to offer, and the rest was history. Okay, so now for the juicy information regarding my stats. I didn't have like crazy amazing stats. For my GPA, it was a 3.69, so to give you like a rough ballpark, it's around like 80 to 85%, I would say, out of 100. That was my average. And then for my LSAT score, so I took it 3 times. The first one I got like a 153. The second one I got a 159, and the last attempt, that was in early January, and I got a 164, which is really good, but Osgoode accepted me off of the 159. So the last attempt wasn't really necessary, but you know, I decided to take it anyways because I had already paid the amount that they get you to pay to write a exam. So yeah. As part of your application, you also need to specify your past volunteer and work experiences. For me, I didn't have anything out of the ordinary except there was this one experience where I actually helped start up a tech startup accelerator in Ottawa when I was doing my undergrad, and we got companies to sponsor a conference that we held, which was also in Ottawa, and the companies included like Google, Invest Ottawa, and a couple of others. And that was a lot of fun, and I think that really stood out to the application committee because I was in charge of, you know, organizing the conference, so I had to show organization skills, teamwork skills, leadership skills, etc., etc. And then aside from that experience, you know, I had a lot of research positions that I was involved in because of my biomedical science degree, and that demonstrated a lot of analytical skills and attention to detail. And then finally, I had a lot of retail experience too. My first job was at Foot Locker, which that was a sales job essentially. So it took a lot of communication skills, and you had to sell the product to the customer. So that was, I think, important to the application committees. And then my other job that I talked about on my resume was my part-time customer service role at Lowe's, which is a hardware store in both the US and Canada. But I worked in the lumber department actually, and fun fact, I have a forklift license because of that job. So yeah, I talked about how, you know, I had to exercise communication skills, customer service skills, and all kinds of stuff, management. So I think the important part about applying to law school is that you need to show that you're a holistic candidate. You know, you're not just book smart, but you're also street smart. You can manage a team, you can work effectively with other people. And even if those skills even if you don't think those skills will be important for law school specifically, they will be important when you become a lawyer. So think about it from that lens. You know, when law schools are hiring, or when law schools are selecting candidates, they're selecting candidates who will be good lawyers in the future. So even if you are just book smart, you still need an array of other skills to make you a holistic person, which will make you a good lawyer. So keep that in mind. Again, I want to highlight the fact that applying to law school is a holistic process. So even if you have like really high grades, you know, you still need a decent array of experiences. And on the flip side, if you don't have a very high GPA or a very high LSAT score, you can still compensate for that by, having a plethora of good experiences that speak to different translatable skills. So it's never just about like who has the highest LSAT, who has the highest GPA. They're always looking for people who have a unique story to tell and people who are holistic, not just people who are book smart. So I hope that helps for anybody who's looking to find information on how committees select candidates for law school. Alright guys, so that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the information that I had to offer, and again, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share this video if you found it to be helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.